and create a country where we become slaves. Because once they take over America, the rest of the world becomes a lot easier for them. And so, by creating 9/11, an event to terrify the American people that were being attacked by terrorists, you create a world where there's an enemy that can never be pinpointed. You can never win the battle. It's a 100-year war. It's a never-ending war on terrorism.
Right where we're standing, Tower 1 and 2. Will you look at it? Will you?
I don't care what that says.
You just said fire can't get hot. Office fire can't get hot enough.
I'm quoting you NIST and FEMA and Professor Igor, who said the fire couldn't do it. Hello, the fire could do it.
Without an enemy image, you cannot have an oligarchical society.
I find it absolutely unbelievable that anyone in our government could have such a heinous or evil plot to strike their own people.
The adversary is closer to home. It's the Pentagon bureaucracy. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
Let me guess, there was someone down there with detonation that made the towers go down, right?
I don't know, there's something, Wile E. Coyote.
What hit the towers? I heard people with the t-shirts saying, we detonated the building.
Being skeptical is good, but looking at this and having your first thoughts be, this is a hoax staged by the government, well, that takes a special kind of asshole.
It's important to nip this bullshit paranoid fantasy before it takes root in the national conscience and Oliver Stone makes a shitty movie about it.
Conspiracy theorists, like all sorts of theorists, take disparate facts and put them together. And what makes a conspiracy theorist a little bit different is they put the facts together in alternative ways that are tinged with a kind of paranoia. People hate thinking about, in a flash of an eye, terrorist bombers can come in and crash into the World Trade Center. They would rather see that, oh yes, there was always a system, there was always some overriding explanation that can let us make sense of the world.
Disappeared.
You saw a great plane with a red line and across the
Oh, that had to be George Bush's plane. It had to be George Bush. He had to fly those planes in himself. I bet he had a remote control. It was Atari. It was Atari. Hit the red button.
Roger, Wilco.
2 predators in the target vicinity.
Target 5, leaving building.
Roger.
And we got 60 degrees more of heading.
Copy.
On tail 107.
Confirm target in building.
Copy. Sensor confirms.
Laser.
Laser selected.
Go ahead and arm your laser. Go ahead and fire the laser.
Lasing.
3, 2, 1, impact.
Now, we're going to talk about how these buildings came down. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, the one that had no resistance under it falls at free fall speed. What happens over here? The one that has 80,000 tons of structural steel on it. It doesn't even give. It resists.
If I ever see you in a legitimate news conference, I will never ever talk to you.
Oh, you'll never get there, punk! You're a corporate media shill!
If you don't know what a 9/11 truther is, let me quickly tell you about them. In fact, let me have them tell you about them. A call for immediate inquiry into the evidence that suggests high-level government officials may have deliberately allowed the September 11th attacks to occur. They also have a list of questions on their website. that I guess is supposed to pique your interest in the conspiracy theory that the Bush administration let the attacks happen on purpose.
He thinks that the Bush administration could perhaps have had something to do with 9/11, facilitating 9/11, encouraging the actions that took place on 9/11. That is insane. That is literally insane, Bakari. And I don't care what the World Economic Forum has said. I don't care what Time magazine has branded him. I care about the facts. He's a 9/11 truther, and apparently you're okay with that.
They create a situation where if you tell the truth, you're considered a lunatic.
The stuff that we learned this afternoon is devastating. Here is a man who signed on to a petition demanding several investigations of collaboration of the Bush administration with the worst massacre of Americans ever committed on American soil. Now, that is beyond extremism and radicalism. That's psychotic paranoia. It's a malignant kind of politics. And you've got to ask yourself in the White House, if you didn't know he's a truther, then you've got to ask him to politely resign. And if you did, is that acceptable in the government of the United States?
Newspapers are having to trim staff. TV stations are letting people go. They're losing their audience. Americans know the media has been lying to them. Nobody likes a liar.
I'll ask the question again. Did President Obama know about all of this? All of this? Plus, let me add number 9. 9/11 truther. A guy believes that Bush intentionally killed 3,000 American citizens. Does the president, did he know all of this stuff before he appointed Van Jones and other radical advisors and czars? As the White House has been silent on this, I can't answer it. As soon as they respond, we will bring you that response. A call for immediate inquiry to the evidence that suggests high-level administration is actually killing all of these people? Really?
It's not enough just to point with alarm. It's not enough just to say, well, this is historically true, and it's not enough to lead the charge if you don't lead it anywhere. See, these people don't care how much you expose their scams or their conspiracies or their plots if you have no solution. If your only solution is, well, now I told you about it, now just vote Republican, you know?
And it seems like the voices of our leaders and special interests and the media, they're surrounding us. It sounds intimidating.
There's no way in the world that these major media outlets are going to allow anybody to come up with a real solution to the problem. They're smart enough to control their own opposition or to create their own opposition if necessary, so they can lead it nowhere.
But to conspiracy nuts, death and suffering are just heart-pounding entertainment.
People think this is a joke. It's not a joke. We're not kidding. We're for real. We're not just out here to be conspiracy theorists and protest, to be anarchists. We want truth. We want a good life. It's so real and people don't get it. They think it's a joke. They think we're full of shit. They have no clue. They're real we are.
Okay, all right? Here, hold on. You want to call your mother or something?
You gotta get back to here. You know that. You gotta get back.
All right? Don't worry about me. You need to make calls right now.
Down below and you'd see molten steel running down the channel rails, like you're in a foundry. Yeah, like lava. Like lava.
I believe that the government passed these simply because there's overwhelming evidence that indicates that September 11th was an inside job. The government used explosives to blow up World Trade Center 7 and Twin Towers.
All right, look at you've I appreciate your calling. Your happening to get through in this program is not your fault.